Roseanne Show. Touched by an Angel star, Della Reese descends to discuss how her life imitates art.
I definitely believe that there were angels all along the way, or I'd probably still be in Detroit hoping and wishing.
And funny man Louie Anderson stops by to compare his disorders with Roseanne's.
Do you do anything like 5 times like I do?
Maybe lunch.
Today on Roseanne Show, from the hit show Touched by an Angel, me, Della Reese, Dennis Byrd, a football hero who really was touched by an angel, and one of the funniest comedians on the planet, Louie Anderson, is here. And now, here's Roseanne!
What do you got for me today?
The topic of the day is food.
Oh, food.
Food.
Food's a good one.
Food.
Who wants to say something about food? Yeah, with the weird hair. No, that guy with the, well, you got weird hair too, but this guy with the weird hair that's half yellow and black roots. Yeah, hi.
Sex before dinner.
Huh?
What do you think about sex before dinner?
Think about sex before dinner? Did you see the Dr. Ruth show where she told me I should do that because I'm too tired to have sex? I'm not that into the sex. I'm not that into the sex because I just keep thinking about dinner. So. Yes, ma'am.
My mother's been on a diet for over 35 years, and she eats
Has she lost any weight?
No, she eats Weight Watchers, and I'm wondering, shouldn't she just eat regular food since she's not losing any weight?
Well, I think after you've been on a diet for 35 years and it ain't worked, give it up. Yeah. Yeah, by then you gotta just accept that you're fat. Yes, goofy hair guy. Hi.
Hi. Do you like enchiladas?
Oh, I love enchiladas.
Yeah. I can make the best enchiladas the size of Mexico.
Really?
Yeah.
The
And I
size
also
of
work
Mexico?
The side of Mexico.
You make the best enchiladas?
Yeah, and I work at the Cheesecake Factory. I can bring you dessert, too.
Oh, you work at the Cheesecake Factory?
In the bakery.
All right, you're on. We have a great show today. Former professional football player Dennis Byrd and his wife Angela are here to talk about just an amazing miracle that happened in their lives. And later on, one of my favorite comics and the guy who knows all my deep, dark secrets from the early days, Louie Anderson, is here. Now, my first guest is seen by 22 million people on the hit show Touched by an Angel. It's the latest chapter in her amazing life. Please help me welcome Miss Della Reese.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're nice. We both have some, you didn't know that was going to move, did you?
It did.
We both have some nice purple on.
Yes, power. That's the power color.
That is?
Purple
Oh, I love your
is
nails.
the power color.
Purple is the power color.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You know, I told you, and I want to tell in front of everybody, that when I was a little girl, my dad had a lot of Della Reese records, and I used to listen to them and mouth them and pretend I was you.
Well, I want to tell them about that, too, because you and I were doing a benefit with Elizabeth Taylor for AIDS, and it was one of those days where I was just like, and everything was getting all on my nerves, and I was bored, and I wanted to get out there. My husband wouldn't let me leave, and I was just really like that. And I stepped backstage, and you told me the story that you just told me, and it lifted me. It got me through that experience. And I've always told everybody that you were my angel that night, standing backstage there, giving me what I needed to go on.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice. You do, but not only do you star on the show about being touched by an angel, but you actually believe in angels, don't you?
Yes, because it's impossible for me to be where I am from whence I came. I was born in the slums of Detroit in 1931. And I had no pool, I had no sponsors, I had no music lessons, I didn't know anybody or anything. But all through my life, when I needed an understanding or I needed some help or I needed whatever, somebody appeared. Maybe they only stayed in my life long enough to give me that information, and then they were gone. But that was what I needed to take another step. I definitely believe that there were angels all along the way, or I'd probably still be in Detroit hoping and wishing.
I believe that's true, too.
Yes.
I think it's true for everybody.
Absolutely.
If you're like really aware of all the things that you call coincidences.
Well, I was in Horn and Hart. It was a place where you put coins in and get food out, you know. And I didn't have any coins to put in. So, but they had ketchup and hot sauce and A1 sauce. And I would take that and mix it up and make soup. And a little salt and pepper in there, you know, and you could get crackers for free, so I'd get the crackers, and that would be my lunch. And one day I'm sitting in there talking about angels along the way. I'm sitting in there and I'm saying, Father, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have enough money to go home, and if I don't pay the rent, they're going to put me out, and I don't know. And some people were sitting behind me, and they said, well, what they're looking for is a black woman, a young black woman who can really belt out a song. They're not talking to me. They're talking to each other. So they've had everybody up there, but everybody that has been too soft. So they need somebody who can really belt out a song. Well, that's definitely me. So I'm leaned over like this listening now, you know?
Wow.
So they say, and it's at 54th and whatever the street was, and say, they're just really in panic for somebody. I drank up my ketchup and stuff
soup.
and went up there, and it was perfect for me. I went to work. It got me started. I don't know who those people were today, but if you happen to be looking today, thank you so much for having that conversation, because it got me. I didn't even know that job was available.
Great. Okay, so I know this. I love this story. I want you to tell this story about how, you know, I used to watch the Ed Sullivan Show when I was a kid. I saw you on the Ed Sullivan Show. I saw so many great people on there. And Ed Sullivan, which we have a clip and we'll show in a minute, but Ed Sullivan was an angel to you too,
Absolutely
right?
was. In the first place, he took me to Las Vegas. He took a variety show. And I could sing in this hotel, but I couldn't eat there or sleep there.
That's what I wanted to go into. What kind of when was that, like the 50s?
No, that was in the 60s. And
oh, no, it was not in the 60s.
Yes, it was. Yes,
oh, my God.
Yes, it was.
It was in the 60s.
Yes, it was.
And black people could not eat
we could not. None of us. All of us could work there, but we could not sleep there or eat there, because they had a place. A doctor and his wife had built some homes in what they called the Dust Bowl, and it was named correctly. There were no sidewalks. It was just really a dust bowl.
This was in Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas, in Nevada.
Oh, my God.
You know, in Nevada,
no, I know,
Las Vegas.
I know that Las Vegas.
In Nevada, that's what I'm talking about.
In the 60s, black people could not sleep or eat in Las Vegas.
We could not. And so I am coming from the Dust Bowl, which you come a back road from there, and I'm driving as fast as I can, but I'm late, and I open the show. So it's like 10 minutes to 8 when I get there. The show starts at 8 o'clock. So no time to eat, no time for anything. So when my part is over, which is like no more than 15 minutes after 8, I order a hamburger. I'm starving. And I'm sharing the dressing room with a marvelous lady. She and her husband did a dance act on the show. And so now I'm waiting on this hamburger. I'm waiting on this hamburger. It is now 11:45. And I still don't have this hamburger. I'm not aware that I can't eat there. I just came from New York. I can eat anywhere. So I'm not aware that I can't eat there. So Blossom was the lady's name. She's jumping up and down. She says, why don't they give you something to eat? And I said, I don't know. And she's hollering so loud when Mr. Sullivan walks by. He says, what's the matter, Blossom? She said, this child ordered a hamburger. It's 8:15. She's hungry. She hasn't had anything to eat all day, and they won't give her anything to eat. He took my hand like this, and he walked me in the kitchen, and he said, she ordered a hamburger, give her a hamburger. And they went, he said, give her a hamburger now. And they, yes, Mr. Sullivan, they gave me the hamburger. So I appreciate he's getting it to me, but I don't want to blow my gig. So I'm eating this burger. I'm just eating this burger. I'm trying to get some of it down for time because it's time for me to go on, you know. So he said, no. He said, take your time and eat. If they had given it to you when you ordered it, you wouldn't have to gulp it down like this. So he held the show until I finished the hamburger. Okay, then every night after that, and we were there for a month, every night after night, he took my hand like this and marched me into the center of every restaurant in Las Vegas and sat me. People got up and left. He didn't care. He sat me right down in the center, and we had, like, he and his wife, we had 7-course meals. We ate all evening up in there. He did. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
That blows my mind.
It's wonderful.
We're going to take a look at that Ed Sullivan clip as we go to commercial.
I mean, Miss Reese.
That's all right. You can call me Della.
And you can call me whenever you want to. I'll come.
Can I call you Fred?
I love this story so much. I mean, I don't love that you had a brain aneurysm, but tell us about how you picked it out.
It's one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Tell us about it.
I was doing Johnny Carson's show, and I had sat down on the couch, and we had talked, and I stood up to sing my second song. And you know, when you're a singer, you have to show that you can do it every once in a while. So what you do is you sing with the bass fiddle. You see, because he doesn't really have any pitch for you or anything. You got to really know what you're doing when you know you sing with the bass fiddle. So I'm up there putting on the dog. I'm singing with the bass fiddle. And I hit the worst note I've ever hit in my life. And I just was like that. And I didn't know what was wrong. And I said, Father, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm in your hands. And I collapsed.
Oh, my God.
I had an aneurysm to rupture in my brain, and when they opened my head, they found that there were 2 more about to burst, and so he couldn't do it all in one operation. So I had 2 operations. One was 9.5 hours. I think the other was 10.5 hours, and he put clips on.
Why do you say this is the best thing?
Because where I was at that time, I had been celibate for 3.5 years. I didn't want another man.
Give you a brain aneurysm.
I didn't want another man. No, I really didn't. I had been abused so much, I didn't care if I ever had another man at all. I didn't trust them. I had nothing for them whatsoever. Yeah. Then, when that happened, the gentleman that I was going with made me understand that I had not ever known a man, really.
I hear that.
And so, yeah, and so while I was laying there, he did those things that built up the trust in me. And we've been married for 20 years. We never would have been married for 20 years had that not happened. Yeah.
What a wonderful place to be in your life.
It was fun. He said something, this man said something to me. I mean, he said, I loved you and you're beautiful and all those things that are marvelous. But that day after the surgery, they had painted my head with some kind of red glue. They'd shaved off all my hair and painted my head with some kind of red glue. And I had touched it and pulled it, and it came off like chewing gum, you know what I mean? And he walked in the room just when I was most disgusted at this stuff that was on my head. And he has a degree in art, and he said, before your hair grows back, I want to do a sketch. You have a perfect head.
Oh.
If I needed that so badly at that moment, you know, for him to say that. And it made it all right for me. He just has a way of making it okay for me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
You have had an incredible span.
Yes,
You have
yes,
done
60
a lot of
years.
incredible things.
Yes.
So nice to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
God
much.
bless you.
Della will honor us with a song when we come back. Oh, I'm so excited to hear you sing.
Love doesn't lie and cheat and steal. It doesn't despair and is never hopeless. But that's the way you felt, isn't it?
God must have given up on me by now.
Absolutely not, Doris Bernstein. God made you. You're his child.
Della has been singing for over 60 years. But today, she's going to sing a song that she's never performed on TV before. It's a new song called Touched by an Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, Della Reese.
This is T.C. Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. We wrote this song together. I've been touched by an angel, really touched by an angel. I have hope, I have choice, since I heard that voice telling me all is well. I've been touched by an angel, deeply touched by an angel. What a perfect release. I can feel the peace, happiness words can't tell. I know my life will be better somehow. I've put aside worry, and now I can see there's a new life for me. Winter has blossomed a spring. My mind, heart, and body, they sing of the joy in my soul, now that love is in complete control. I've been touched by an angel. Bless the touch of an angel. Now my future is bright as I follow the light my angel has shown to me. There's a new life for me. Winter has blossomed this spring. My mind, heart, and body, they sing of the joy in my soul, now that love is in complete control. I've been touched by an angel. Bless the touch of an angel. Now my future is bright as I follow the light my angel has shown to me. How to be free
to stay free, how to be me. Wonderful, wonderful me.
God love you. Thank you.
Della Reese.
Thank you. TC.
We're taking a break. Stay tuned. Years ago, Dennis Byrd was a star defensive lineman with the New York Jets with a great future. And then when Dennis snapped his neck and was paralyzed during a game, doctors said it was going to take a miracle for him to walk again. His wife said, expect a miracle. Please welcome Dennis and Angela Byrd. You have such an awesome story. I can't wait for everybody who hasn't heard it to hear it.
Great, thank you very much.
So it starts with a pretty terrifying day. Will you tell us about it?
Yeah, almost 6 years ago, I was playing in a game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and in just a really freak accident, I was coming around the corner on a pass rush, and the quarterback stepped up, and I ran into my teammate who was coming from the other side, and I hit him in the chest with the top of my helmet, and the force was great enough that it broke my neck, and I fell to the ground, and I knew really immediately that something really serious had happened.
And you were sitting in the stands and saw it.
Yes, and I was sitting with some friends in the stands, and once he was hit and I realized that it was him who was laying there, I knew something was very wrong with him.
Because he had always jumped
didn't
up.
move. He had always jumped back up after a hit and everything, and I just told a friend of mine, Marla, I said, it's Dennis and he's not moving. And all I could think of was, how can I get to him? And a friend of mine came and got me from where we were sitting in the stands and took me underground to the ambulance where they were putting him on the ambulance at that time, so we got to be together.
And you went to the hospital, and what did they tell you?
Well, you know, immediately there, I'm asking all kinds of questions because, of course, I can't move, and I'm really terrified, actually. There are a lot of things going through my mind, but the initial prognosis was that I had had an explosion fracture of the C5 vertebrae, and they were going through everything that was working and not working. And, you know, initially, the prognosis was very bleak, especially the first few weeks. And, you know, there were many, you know, numerous comments, but doctors have a guarded optimism. You know, they have to be very careful with the things that they say, and, you know, I can respect that. But there, you know, later in private conversation with doctors, they had said, you know, we really did not expect you to walk. And then even in public, there had been a number of admissions that, you know, we really didn't think Dennis would ever walk again.
So what happened to you in the room where you knew something miraculous was going to happen for your husband?
On Monday night, the day after his injury, I was in the room and I was hanging up some posters and some scriptures and just some things that people had sent, and I started humming the words to a song, and I had a piece, and I was humming, and I realized what the words were, and they're from a scripture in Isaiah 40:31.
What were the words?
They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. And I went over and I sang those words to him. We both cried, and I said, you're going to walk again. That was God telling us that Dennis was going to walk again, is how I felt. And we just had a peace.
Did you think she was crazy when she said that?
No, you know, she usually thinks I'm the one that's crazy.
What did you think when you heard her say that?
I knew, you know, I really did. I believed what she had said. That's what got us through was faith and belief, and I needed her, and I never needed her
to that extent.
Yeah, you know, I never needed her more in my life.
Sometimes you don't know how much you need somebody until something bad happens, right? But also you were pregnant.
We had a 2.5-year-old daughter, Ashton. She was 2.5 at the time, and I was pregnant with our other daughter. We'd found out 4 days before the injury that I was pregnant. So it was a stressful time, but God got us through that time.
And so did your kids, didn't they?
Yeah, very much so. Ashton, 2.5. You know, I had an image of who I was as a person, who I was as a father, and that was of a physical man, a man that had built himself, that was very independent, and that's what I thought. That's my image to my wife, for my children. That's who I thought that they had fallen in love with. And then, you know, I'm laying in the hospital bed, you know. It's
such an awesome story.
Yeah, it's hard at times.
We're all going to cry, so
but
just
it's beautiful because Angela had been taking care of me, and then my little 2.5-year-old girl, she took a little medical bag, a little doctor's bag, Fisher-Price doctor's bag, and brought it into the hospital. And she climbed up in the bed, and she just took care of me. You know, it was the sweetest. It was the most beautiful thing that's really ever happened to me, because my image that I had of myself was not the true image. My children and my wife and my friends loved me because of who I was, not what I had become or what I was physically. And that was very humbling and very touching. So.
Did you, on account of that, did you let go of anything? I'm trying to talk about what shifted or what changed, what came in.
That, you know, that's a hard question to answer.
Did you feel anything come in, or
in terms of
this great healing that you received?
Well, it was all from just faith. You know, miracles come about by faith. I truly believe that, and a belief, an undying, unyielding belief in these things. And I had the support of my wife and of my children, of my friends, all of these things that I had in my life that I had built. I had invested time in. I invested time in my friends, my wife, in church, in my children. And whenever another part of my life was destroyed, which was football, my athletic, physical life, that was destroyed and gone. I had the other things that were strong for me and that supported me whenever I needed them most.
More with Dennis and Angela after this commercial. So I wanted to hold this up because this is actually the thing that was screwed right into your head afterward that you wore.
Right. This is a halo brace, and whenever you have a neck injury and broken bones, this is what they use to stabilize your neck. They actually strap this to your body, and then they screw the halo part into your head, and that's to totally eliminate any movement. It keeps you from continuing any damage to yourself.
And couldn't you hear these screws going into your head because they didn't put you out, right?
No, absolutely not. They give you just a local anesthesia, you know, a shot, and then they screw this in, and you can actually physically hear the flesh crunch and then feel it tighten onto the bones. But it's a necessary piece of equipment, you know, you have to have it.
Well, let's cut to the really good stuff now, and then we're going to go out and have, because the audience wants to talk to you both. So you're in this thing, and they say, oh, you know, you're probably never going to walk again. So how long is it till you're up and walking after this?
Less than a month and a half. I was back a month and a half. It was great.
That is so incredible. I'm going to let people talk to you, too, because they got a lot to say. Get up, whoever. Who's got the good question? Okay. I don't know if I can run over there real quick. All right.
The last time I saw that you were still in the hospital when you were wearing a halo, how long did it take for you to get to the point to where you are now?
I'm still in the process of recovery. If I don't continue to work out and be an active individual, I will continue to slide down. And it's a process that I've got to keep for my entire life. But see, what you have to, that's the physical, muscular part of it. The neurological part of it is really the true miracle in the fact that it was believed that I would never walk again. I would never be on my feet again. And there had to be that miracle in my spinal cord for me to ever be able to walk again, and that's what I'm thankful for.
Where was the first place, though? I think this is what you're saying, because I've been thinking about what you said, and I think what you meant is, where was the first place you felt it? You had to feel something, right?
Well, yeah. Whenever I was laying on that football field, Pepper Burris, who is the trainer, he and I had spent time in Bible study and, you know, through the week, and we were close friends, and we prayed immediately. We began to pray, and there's that, it's just a belief. It's just knowing, you know, I'm thankful that I have a God that I can take my needs to. You know, I am.
Question? Is it a question? Okay.
How do you keep up that, you know, in the process of recovering, just not giving up, just not, you know, getting tired of it, or, you know, it's got to be a fight. And how do you keep that?
Yeah, in spite of all the pain, how do you go on?
Yeah, well, for the things that I've been talking about, I have a great Christian belief and a belief in God, and it was through prayer, because there's a time in your life whenever your friends leave the hospital room. My wife would leave the hospital room, and I would be awake at 3 and 4 a.m. absolutely terrified. And I would pray, and I would get peace, and that's it for me. It was prayer. And then after prayer was first for me. That's what was the foundation that was laid for me. And then after that,
but you know what? A lot of people, if they had something horrible like that happen to them, that would shake. Yeah. It would shake their faith, and a lot of times totally destroy it. Yeah. That's what we want to know. We want you to tell us.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, it was a foundation, being brought up in a church home, in a Christian family, all of those things being instilled in me as a child, and that's why I think as a parent it's important to do that for our children. But I think when a tragedy comes your way, if you're already secure in what you believe, you know where to go.
Well, we're glad that you were here. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wish you the best of everything. And I know you're doing such good things. I know he visits over 300 people a year with spinal cord and neck injuries, children all over the world. That's so great to give back like that. Thank you very much. You too. Thank you. So stay where you are. We'll be right back after this.
On the next Roseanne Show, talk show host Howie Mandel and Forgive or Forget's Mother Love. Even your mouse knows where to find the Roseanne Show website. Visit theroseanneshow.com. See you there.
Alberto VO5 hairdressing. Control frizz and flyaways and transform dull, dry hair into shiny hair in seconds. Alberto VO5.
Childhood into a long-time comedy career. He is a 2-time Emmy winner for his Fox animated show Life with Louie, which is so great. And he's also the acclaimed author of 3 books. Welcome my friend, Louie Anderson. How are you, honey?
I'm good. Is this your idea of exercise?
Yeah, actually it is.
It's nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you. As I was waiting to introduce you and thinking about all the years I've known you and
well, I first saw Roseanne. I first saw you.
It's 1980.
In Denver.
Yeah.
At a little black hole in the wall club, and I said, "She's way too funny." It was really, you know, I knew right away that you were.
Did. Yeah. You picked me out.
I said, there's a real big star. And we did 25 cities together.
Yeah.
And the guy who went with us on the tour,
what did we call it? The When Do We Eat tour?
Or the Vast Wasteland tour.
That's right.
Roseanne and I would say, first thing we get into town, say we're going to Columbus, we'd say to the guy, what's the best restaurant?
Right.
And then we'd make him keep it open after the show.
Right.
And then we'd eat till the next town. We did. We
did.
did.
And we never exercised or anything.
Nothing. We had people carrying us.
No, you said I was a big baby.
You were
Remember?
big.
You
This
said
is
I was
Roseanne.
really hard to go on
This
the
is
road
Roseanne
with.
every day. Pick me up. and then you'd pick her up and she'd go, put me down. But we had a lot of fun, and I always went on first because she, you know, could get a little racy, and my act was clean.
You were totally clean.
Yes, and then you would come out. You'd say, how are they? And I'd say, they're great. And you'd go, I can't go out there. Pick me up.
You had a really dysfunctional family. Like you were the 10th of 11 kids for one thing.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
You know, I grew up in 10th of 11 children, first of all, which is an insane idea.
It's insane.
There's people say, were you Catholic? I go, no, my dad was a musician. Which I don't know why that makes people laugh, but it always does. I have no idea why that joke makes people laugh. Do you?
No, it's
But
just
it always
I
makes
think we
people
think
laugh.
musicians are a little crazy.
Yeah, I guess maybe
Yeah,
that's
we think
it.
that, I think.
And so my mom was completely insane.
Yeah, I
And
remember
all
you
she did was cook and clean and wash clothes. That 11 kids. The dryer went 24 hours a day. Had that one kid in there going clunk, clunk, clunk. So, but we came from, you know, basically very similar, I think, upbringings, you know. And my dad, he was an alcoholic, which you didn't have, the alcoholism in your family. And he never hit us, though. Carried a gun. But I guess that, you know...
We used to talk in a philosophical way about comedy, and I'd be like, I wanted just to get all my anger out.
Right.
But you did a real subtle switch. You made it all be about positive and love and forgiveness. Which
Well,
I always
isn't
used
it
to
ultimately...
study. But I used to study and go, how does he do that? How does he do that?
Well, I think I'm able to apply it in my act and talk about it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's any easier for me to do it. But it's something keeps driving me to say, resolve your relationships that you have that aren't perfect, at least on a forgiveness level, and try to fix them. But, you know, I'm 10th of 11 kids, right? I could become as successful as I've become. My older brother walks in the room, I expect to get hit in the head.
Really?
Yeah, just, you know, it's just that thing.
After all these years?
Yeah, you never
It
ever
never
think.
does go away,
It doesn't
does
go
it?
away, no.
It never goes away.
It's,
That's the big, kind of a big lie to tell us, because, you know, I've been in therapy 30-some years, honey. It just never goes away.
yeah. It doesn't go away, but you learn how to, that you can have it sit beside you.
Yeah.
Those things, or, you know, you can embrace them instead.
They don't have to be like on your head, eating away every minute.
And what the comics are all crazy, I think.
Oh, we're all completely
nuts.
insane.
If we didn't sift out what we were going to say and just said it, you'd be running for your cars.
That's true. We'll be right back after this. Absolutely true.
Yeah, they would, wouldn't they?
They're about to send it to the record. You believe that?
Yes. This car doesn't run, Dad.
Louie, listen close. There's something more important about a car than whether it runs or not. Understand?
No.
Take a nice long look at the Rambler. What do you see?
A really big paperweight.
Some like to fly. I've never been a big fan. I'm always trying to upgrade my ticket, too. Have you ever done that? Yeah, you lie right away.
Sharcinda, I think that was her name. I talked to her down at your headquarters. She said maybe I could upgrade the...
They look at it. Yeah, for 1,100 you can. I'll just stay in the pet crate.
Here's your new book with your little cartoon. This is for kids, right?
Yeah, or people who are stupid. No, I'm kidding. See, you shouldn't... People don't like when you say that, but there are dumb people. Wouldn't it be better if we just divided up the country according to IQ?
Yeah.
Because then you'd have all the dumb people working with all the other dumb people. And no one would get mad about it.
Where would they live, all the dumb people?
Dumbville. And then we could live in Pleasantville. Well, we might end up... Wouldn't it be terrible if you thought you were the smart person, but
and
you
then
ended
you were
up
really
in Dumbville?
dumb? Yeah.
So... I always like, you know, people, you come from a crazy family. I always think, when I see somebody had killed their whole family, when I see those articles,
yeah,
and people go, isn't that terrible? And I go, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
I'm surprised, too.
I don't think they go out to kill the whole family, but the rush of the first one must just carry you through. You know what I'm having? I'm having a third annual family reunion. 59, all my brothers and sisters and all their children. It's 59
people.
59 Andersons.
59 Andersons.
59 Andersons at one buffet.
You're going to get the Where at? In Vegas?
In Vegas. I'm going to be there at the Monte Carlo the 18th through the 25th.
And you've been with all 59 of the Andersons before?
You know what?
And you didn't blow?
As soon as I stopped running away from my family, because I was afraid and had a lot of issues, as soon as I turned around and went, all right, take all the money, take everything. It's all yours. Just leave me some crackers.
What happened when you did that? It got better?
When I did that, they thought I was setting a trap for them. So they backed off. It really was true. It was like, it was a really,
the old double reversal.
It was such a healing thing because I was really not running from them. I was running from the part of me that was like them in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you become successful, everybody thinks you got it made.
Yeah, they do.
They think you got it made. Because mostly in your life you say, if I had money, Christ, I'd have no problems.
Yeah, right.
Right. And then you get the money and you go, I still got the problems.
Right.
And other people don't relate to it because they go, well, at least you got money. You may be nuts, but you aren't starving.
Then nobody feels sorry for
Nobody
you at all.
Only richer people do.
And then you're like twice as crazy because you're like, how come this isn't making me happy or fixing nothing?
Right.
So you go twice as crazy.
And that's what it's all about. It goes back to why we do stand-up. We embrace all those things.
But you know what you said, and I know it's true now too. You said this would be a good way to end the show because we've had some great people say some great things today. But you said what the homeless people need, because you did a lot of work there, you said, well, what they need is just to be in touch, for people to speak to them, to include them in the human community rather than push them away. And it is really true that money doesn't fix nothing. One thing does fix stuff: helping other people. It fixes your depression. It fixes your... Today. Thank you, the audience. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much. It's so lovely to see you. I love you too.